Let me tell you a story. So I'll be honest, I used to suffer a lot with mental health issues when I was a young teenager. And it hurts to say, but it was really my fault. It was my fault that I suffered with mental health issues. Like, let's imagine younger me. I would wake up sleep deprived because I stayed up and I was, playing video games and I was watching, bad videos. And I would go to school, come home, when I was at school, I would like obsess over this one girl, and she didn't even like me back. I remember I asked her out, she rejected me, and I would basically do nothing with my day. I would come home, I'd play video games, I would watch this one best friend, and he was athletic, and he was able to attract like any girl he wanted when we were like young teenagers, and I was so jealous of him. I would play video games with him. And I just felt so damn jealous, bro. You could see how that like depressing lifestyle would leave you with like mental health issues, right? You're addicted to video games, you're addicted to junk food, you're addicted to all these things that are making your life basically go downhill. But then one day I was watching this gaming YouTuber, right? And I remember he did like a bicep flex, and he was a video game guy, but he also like did workouts and stuff on the side, like outside of YouTube. And I thought it was so damn awesome. So I look up his name and I look up working out, and I see a video of him like benching 225, and I'm like, oh my god, so I can play video games and I can be jacked at the same time. That is so cool. So I remember I started to actually work out in my bedroom. I remember I would be sat on my bed and I would do like these Russian twists. I had these little 12-pound dumbbell. It's right there actually. And I would do hammer curls with it. I would do like these tricep exercises. I would do like diamond push-ups. I would do plank sit-ups. And I would tell my mom about it, right? And she was like, oh, well, we used to have a gym membership. Now that you're wanting to work out, you're like 15 years old. I think I was like 15 years old. Let's just sign you up to the gym. And so that's when everything started, when I signed up to my local gym. And so that's when basically the chart flipped. So you remember how I said back then I was doing these things that would basically make the chart go downhill? Well, I finally started one thing that just flipped the chart. That's the key thing. You have to like flip the chart, and it was going uphill. Now I could literally I didn't even understand my potential. I could build like such an amazing physique just by consistently going to the gym. And it really makes me want to just give this lesson that all depression really is, it's like this tunnel with no light at the end of it. You've heard this saying, like the light at the end of the tunnel. Well, depression is just this shitty dark place with no light at the end of it. There's no hope for your future. So when you actually start doing these things, these habits that will put that light, that will put that hope in your future, you can see how you would actually start to feel happy. So one of the first things you can do, and I'm not gonna rant on this for too much because it's so obvious, the best thing you can do is to start building muscle. Like you know exactly why this will make you feel more happier. You objectively just feel happier when you look better. Like that is just a fact. You feel more masculine, you feel more attractive. You literally are more attractive. You're more healthier. It's like addicting. You're setting this goal and you're completing it. You're watching your lifts go up. It's so happy working out. It's so addicting. And that this is like the biggest habit that will forever change my life is weightlifting. But a lot of people do just that, and it's awesome that they're doing that, right? But they become this one-dimensional person who it's all they do. Maybe they're into dieting, but even if they are, it's like they don't really do anything else with their life. And so we strive for more on this channel. We want to be this kind of well-rounded person. And so there is this part of your brain that I want to talk to you about. This part of your brain is basically this voice who has convinced you to skip the workouts, convinced you to eat the junk food, convinced you to be lustful, to watch pornography so many times, to have all these bad habits in your life. It has convinced you to do all these things. And this is basically your amygdala. So when you meditate, this is the next habit, meditation, it physically shrinks your amygdala. I don't know if you're as hype as me, but that is so awesome. You can literally do this action, do this habit, and it will literally get rid of this little bitch part of your brain. Like, I don't think you understand, bro. This part of your brain is literally responsible for making you watch pornography thousands of times. It has made you scroll and play video games and watch like bullshit anime or whatever and waste thousands of hours of your life that you will never get back. So basically, all you really need to do is close your eyes with me, right? And you just like breathe deep and then breathe out. Go just like that. And when you focus on your breath, that is basically like the rep, right? You'll start to, think about something else. Like, I'm thinking about this, I'm thinking about that. And when you go back to focusing on your breath, that's basically one rep, right? And so every rep you do when you're starting to meditate, that is literally you fighting that little bitch part of your brain that is literally telling you to not do the things that'll make your future self happier. So like we talked about earlier, how like depression is this tunnel with no light at the end of it. One of the biggest reasons why there's no light at the end of it, that there's no hope, is because you're listening to this part of your brain that is basically saying like, oh, the gym isn't even really that big of a deal, it's really genetic, I'm this, I'm short, I'm this race, so I don't build muscle as good, I'm skinny fat, so there's no point, or I'm maybe too old, so there's no point, I'm maybe too young, so there's no point. It's that part of your brain that is literally holding you back from making so much progress, from being so happy. And this is literally an action you can start to do, is just meditate. It is awesome. By the way, man, if you want to learn more about this, I recently launched a pre-sale on my community. It's linked in the description, so go check it out. And honestly, bro, when you start to adopt this lifestyle where you're bodybuilding, you're building muscle, and you're meditating at the same time, it is amazing what that can do for you. Just starting that, flipping the chart, it can cure this depression so fast. Like, I'm gonna sound really arrogant real quick, but there are so many fat doctors that will say like, oh, this pill will cure your depression like so quick, and it never works. I've met so many people that are on like antidepressants and all these weird medications, and they're all still depressed because it is a symptom of their shitty lifestyle. They have basically done these instant gratification habits that have just made their life so shitty. The thing is none of these doctors really understand what we've had to go through. Like, they're trying to give us this pill, but it's really, I used to have suicidal thoughts, right? I used to be extremely depressed, and I didn't listen to any of their advice. I went out in the real world, made mistakes. I skipped those workouts, I skipped the meditation. I made so many mistakes. And guess what? I am like so much happier now. And it's all because I just worked on my lifestyle, worked on my self-improvement journey. But there's one last piece of advice I want to leave you with. Besides the habit of building muscle and meditating, it is also just choosing to be happy. Like, I don't think you understand. You basically have this filter in your brain as a guy, and you can literally filter all the happy thoughts and the bad thoughts, and you can have this bad thought come in your brain. And this is also like, you will get way better at doing this if you start meditating. So you get this bad thought in your brain, right? Like, I'm short. Like, let's just say like I'm 5'8". So a lot of times I'm like, oh man, I'm too short. But then it's like, I'm thinking about it, it's like, dude, it's not even really that bad. Like, it's not that big of a deal. I've still made so much progress in this part of my life, in this part of my life. It's not that big of a deal. I still have this muscle. It's awesome. You can literally choose happy thoughts for your brain. And it's not just, choosing happy thoughts. It's also being grateful. So when I was younger, I used to, oddly enough, when I had really bad mental health, I would complain about everything. And now that I have really good mental health, like my mental health, this is the most happiest I've been in my whole life, like right now. It's like I'm way more grateful now. Like, I will openly just tell my parents like, hey, I'm really grateful for you. The other day, my mom was helping me with this classwork thing with like scheduling and stuff. And she was talking, I was like, Mom, I'm really grateful that you're helping me with this. I'm really stressed right now, and I know a lot of people don't have, parents. They don't have parents to support them, to put a roof over their head, to help them with this specific thing. And it's just really awesome that you can do that for me. And I just watched her get happy, bro. And I'm getting goosebumps right now. Like, that just makes me so much more happier. Oddly enough, when you're not just expressing gratitude, like you're making other people happy, and that makes you more happier. It's also just, if you can literally filter, if you had zero negative thoughts in your brain and you were just this happy little sunflower, little butterfly throughout your life, you would feel way happier. And it's really easy to do that when you start meditating a lot, and you can basically put this filter on your brain that's like, if I get a negative thought, I'm just not gonna give a shit about it. Why be negative when I can be positive? Why be sad when I can be happy? But by the way, man, like I said earlier, I recently launched a pre-sale on my community. It's half off right now, so go check it out, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.